Death Stranding 2 is a problem because it wasn't supposed to work. A walking simulator made by a guy who left a major gaming studio under questionable conditions. This series should have been a weird cult hit at best. Instead, it's succeeding. It's blowing up on the internet right now. Death Stranding 2 is pulling early 9s on Metacritic. It's dominating conversation, and worst of all, it's authentic. It wasn't optimized by a committee. It didn't get sanded down into live service sludge. It's weird, it's bold, it's visionary, and gamers are loving it. If you're a AAA publisher, this should set off alarms because the writing is on the wall. Talented devs are leaving major studios and their passion projects are winning. This isn't just a one-off success. It's a trend. And if it keeps going, the big studio names won't be big enough to hide behind. I want to talk about a few, but let's start with Hideo Kojima and his departure from Konami, and how even a messy, high-profile exit is leading to one of gaming's boldest success stories. Let's rewind to the first Death Stranding. Hideo Kojima didn't just walk away from Konami, he was pushed out. After delivering hit after hit, Metal Gear Solid, Zone of the Enders, even shaping the identity of Konami itself for decades, they initiated a so-called corporate restructure that ended a 30-year relationship with the man who was their golden goose. Why? Because while Konami was in the video game business, they were also in a different gaming business that was a little bit more lucrative. Gambling. If you ever walk through a casino, you've probably seen it. Slot machines with Konami slapped across the top. I grew up thinking Konami meant Dance Dance Revolution, not Dragon's Luck Super Jackpot. But to execs, games like DDR or Metal Gear are unpredictable. They take time, they depend on artists, and slot machines don't. They don't need visionaries, they need volume. Kojima is a perfectionist, the kind of guy who will rewrite a script 10 times just to get the pacing right. But when your board of directors wants consistent quarterly growth, Kojima's creativity becomes a problem and not a prize. So what did Konami do? They kicked him off the board, demoted him and his team to contractors, and stripped his name off the credits of his very own game. Because they didn't want a creator, they wanted an obedient mascot who pumped out mobile gacha games and pachinko machines. So Kojima left and created his own studio. He walked away from Solid Snake, from the legacy, from the studio that once backed him. And then he made FedEx Simulator with Ghosts, a game where you walk across the post-apocalypse delivering packages. And that game sold 10 million copies. The sequel, Death Stranding 2, is back, bigger, bolder, and unapologetically Kojima. It's scoring in the 90s, fans are hyped, the vision is intact. He succeeded without Konami, and now players are noticing. That kind of win, it scares the suits. Because the truth is, most AAA studios can't make a Death Stranding anymore. Too slow, too bloated, too safe. When a dev pitches something unique, the response isn't, let's go. It's, what's the monetization loop? How can we attract the whales and empty their pockets? Can we turn this into a live service with optional battle pass tiers? The people making decisions don't even play games. Take-Two CEO recently said that of himself. Quote, I don't play video games at all. I'm not the consumer-in-chief. I share my opinions pretty openly, but I think being the consumer-in-chief in the entertainment business as a CEO is probably a mistake. I think the mistake was hiring CEOs of game companies that don't even use their own product. These aren't storytellers, they're spreadsheet managers looking for ROI, return on investment. So when someone like Kojima walks away and makes art that works, that's a threat to the entire model. Because now we, the players, see the truth. It was never the logo that made the magic, it's the people behind these amazing projects. And Kojima isn't alone. Sandfall's Expedition 33 has taken the gaming scene by storm. A strong contender for Game of the Year, currently sitting at a 93 on Metacritic. I love this game. A game that has taken great storytelling and pushed turn RPGs to new heights. Its budget, while not publicly available, is most likely drastically lower than what games cost nowadays. Their portfolio director was quoted saying, everybody's desperate to know what the budget is, and I won't tell them. But I would guarantee if you got 10 people to guess, I think all 10 wouldn't guess the actual figure. Sandfall's boss behind the new Expedition 33 was a former Ubisoft dev, and during an interview with a French content creator, mentioned a project like this would have taken 25 years to make in a big company. The game might seem big, but we're only 25 people. It's much harder to pull something like this off in a big studio than in a small one. Meanwhile, Ubisoft pushes the Veilguard, a Dragon Age sequel so committee built it feels like it was crafted with dialogue that sounds like it's apologizing for being a fantasy game. And they are proud of it. We couldn't have made a better Dragon Age. And we all saw how that panned out. The actual artists, the ones who built the classics, are long gone. They are leaving big name studios and making bangers. Big studios are so risk averse they are delivering games that have no soul, and the sell numbers are starting to show. Meanwhile, indie games are taking the gaming industry by storm. Indie devs are willing to make risks. Schedule 1, Balatro, Palworld, Black Myth, Wukong. These aren't flukes, they're a trend. The more gamers celebrate these breakouts, the more visionaries will realize they don't need the mothership to succeed. These smaller studios and teams can absolutely succeed. I think people forget, one of the biggest games today was originally made by one person, Minecraft. Marcus Notch Pearson. No pitch deck, no corporate oversight, no monetization roadmap, just code, vision, and fun. And look at it today. Minecraft is massive. If you need any other example, these visionaries can make it out all on their own. Minecraft is the perfect example of that. Minecraft didn't explode because it was polished. It exploded because it was playable, creative, and completely different than what anyone else was doing. It was weird, janky, rough around the edges. It literally changed how people see games and how games get made. So when we talk about indie devs making waves, this isn't new. This isn't a fluke. We've seen it before on the biggest scale possible. And if it happened with Minecraft, it can definitely happen again. And that's why Death Stranding 2 is a problem. It's a symbol. It's not just a sequel. A symbol that the Emperor has no clothes. That maybe, just maybe, the best games aren't coming from the biggest names anymore. The publishers want us to keep chasing brand loyalty. But Kojima plastered his name all over Metal Gear Solid 5 for a reason. He knew the studios would carry on without him. So he made sure we remembered. Kojima made this, not them. And that success is showing. These visionaries can create amazing works of art that gamers love even without their former big name studios. Gamers don't want safe slop. We want vision. We want soul, something weird and personal that leaves a mark. We want the next Death Stranding. We want the next Expedition 33, not the next Veilguard. And here's the twist. The more games like Death Stranding 2 that succeed, the harder it gets for the big publishers to hide behind their own IPs. Eventually, the players stop asking what studio made this, and will start to asking who made this. If this keeps up, the suits are going to notice, because if Kojima and Sandfall can win without them, gaming has a bright future ahead of it. Oh my goodness, you made it to the end. Thank you for that. I am humbly appreciative of this. Please, if you can, leave a like, a comment. Tell me what you're playing this weekend. And I have one final request. If you could just... Go beyond!